Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel from Australia. Today I'm doing a deck profile on my HTN deck that I managed to win the latest video brawling tournament with. Start out with the Bakugan. I'm running Aquas Hydrus with a plus 600 minus 3 Helix. He's 1500 B and 6 damage on that Helix. I was also running a plus 100 B, plus 3 damage to Aquas and Ventus for the Fist. I was finding a lot in the previous tournament how I set my cores up. That guys were pinching this particular core with various types of Nilius. So I didn't want to be giving them any gear reduction on that core. And unless they were using an Aquas Nilius Ultra or a Ventus Nilius Ultra, they weren't getting any damage off that core. Ventus Pegatrix running a 650 magic shield. She starts out quite low at only 1150 on her magic shield, but she has a really good Evo, which I run, and I'll get into that later with the cards. She also comes with a shield. I was running a plus 200B, minus 2 gear cost reduction. I don't run a lot of gear cards in here because I don't have access to them in Australia. I have managed to secure one Glimmering Glaive, which is in this deck, which I run. And so obviously I need gear reduction should I get that in hand. Then we come to Titan Nilius, or Chaos Nilius, who evolves into Titan Nilius. He comes with a 650 magic shield, and I was using a plus 200, plus 3, minus 2 gear cost reduction core on him. It would probably make more sense to run a 250 plus 3 with the extra 50 B power possibly in this deck, given that I don't run many gears. In fact, I only run the one, but I am hopefully going to be changing that. Also, I found with my core placement at the start of the game, this core wasn't getting stolen at all. Occasionally the shield was, quite often the fist was. So this left me an option should I get the Glimmering Glaive in hand, and it came in clutch in one particular game. So yeah, we'll get rid of those and we'll move on to the cards. I'll start with the Ventus cards. I only run 2 Ventus cards. So we have 3 Nature's Power. Fantastic card. 1 cost. Minus 500 to a non-Ventus Bakugan. Most players are leading off with Aquas Hydrus. If you have Nature's Power in hand, you can use your 1 energy and drop them to 1000 B, leaving you at 1500, and that will give you a 6 damage head start on turn 1. There's no negates for it being a 1 cost at turn 1. So very, very good card. Also comes in handy during the game. Anytime you can take 500 B off an opponent for 1 cost, fantastic card. And then we move on to my second Ventus card, which is Ventus Hyper Pegatrix. Some people like her. I think she's a little underrated. I like her. Other people think we've moved on. Either way, she's only a 3 cost. So T3 on her magic shield, her 650 magic shield, she's 2250, which is a big number turn 3 and very, very difficult for your opposition to get over. And she came in clutch for me right through the tournament. Fantastic card, fantastic Bakugan. Then we move on to the Chaos cards, and this is a card that I run 3 of that I'm probably looking at replacing. It depends on whether I do decide to replace Ventus Pegatrix with Ventus Nilius Ultra from Armored Alliance. I just found that with all the core stealing going on, all the core sniping in my first tournament, I just never had domination. So Light's Courage is a 2 cost plus 400. If you have Domination, it's 800B instead. So if you have more cores than your opponent, it's a 2 cost plus 800, which is fantastic. Worked well in this deck, especially in the Resurgence format, with Chaos Titan Ilias, getting his core bonus effect, his core stealing effect, and of course Consort, being able to steal cores with Consort. But I'm just finding that I'm very, very rarely do I have Domination. As I said, guys are using Glimmering Glaive against me. They're using Nihilises against me. They're sniping cores with Armored Alliance, Dragonoid, Ultra. And so, yeah, never really have Domination, sadly. So really it's only a 2 cost plus 400. I did use the card. Once, I think, throughout the tournament when I did manage to have Domination. But I think I will be replacing this with a gear card that I do actually have 3 of at the moment. Hayo Braces, which is a gear card that is a 6 cost plus 1000B. So on a -2 gear cost reduction core, that's 4 cost for 1000B. It's a big number, and I think may come in more handy than Light's Courage. We'll see. Then we move on to 2 of. These cards really go together. I play 1 Consort and 1 Glimmering Glaive. I think if I had 2 more Glimmering Glaive, in fact, if I did have 2 more Glimmering Glaive, I would be playing 3 Glimmering Glaive, and I would probably drop the 3 Light's Courage down to 2 Hayo Braces. So Consort did come in handy for me in a couple of games. In round 2 against M Stubbs 88, I forget the exact scenario, but during the game, he did manage to snipe a magic shield off me, I think, with his Pyrus Dragonoid Ultra. I managed to win a brawl down the track. I needed that magic shield back. So in Victor phase, I was able to play Consort and steal that magic shield back, which came in clutch during that game. I think I played it against Greg, maybe also. I might have used it to take one of his helixes. So it did come in handy, but Glimmering Glaive is just a better card. It's a 4 cost gear card. When you play this, you may attach a Baku core from the field to one of your Bakugan. So on a gear cost reduction card, it's only a 2 cost. It gives you a permanent 400B boost, and you get to steal a core and add that to a Bakugan. It's intense. It's a really, really good card. When you're playing against it and you don't have it, it's just a busted card. So I'm really hoping to get 2 more of these to add to the deck. I just think the deck would be that much better with them. So please, Spin Master, please get those cards out there, and please get Armored Elite somehow and Fusion Force upcoming out to Australia. There's people out there that want to buy your product, including me. Then we move on to another card that I'm possibly going to replace. Wayne. It's a 2 cost. Destroy an Evo that was not played this turn. The reason why I'm looking at possibly replacing this is in the current format with Gears, and guys playing a lot of Armored Alliance Bakugan, there's not a lot of Evos being played. Back in the Resurgence format, this was a terrific card where Evos were being played in every deck. 2 costs to destroy an Evo is fantastic. I'm a little bit undecided about this card at the moment. Then we move on to the man himself, Chaos Titan Ilias. He's a 4 cost Evo. Everybody knows him. You either love him or you hate him, and I love him. He's still getting the job done, quite obviously. I won't read the text because the text is terrible. The card doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, the community has come to an agreement basically about how that card will play. But the fact is, he's a boss monster. He's always been a boss monster. He's still a boss monster, and he does a terrific job. He's a base 800. On a magic shield, he gets a static effect of plus 200, giving him 1,000. He then gets to attach a core from the field. So, you know, if you're adding another magic shield and you've got 2 magic shields on him, you're looking at, I think, 2,300 and 8 damage. You can also attach a helix to him, which I did quite a bit against Nerdy Friends Greg Gomez in the final. To make life difficult for him by taking his helixes, and B, you know, a 600 B helix is a decent B boost to this guy. Even though he's only at 5 damage with a helix on him, you know, Greg's deck runs a lot of flips. It's a flip control deck, so really you have to chip away at it. Oh, you can throw a Fire Fist on him. If you throw a Fire Fist on him, he gets a static bonus of plus 4 damage with a Fire Fist, and his damage can get up to 15 on a 200 minus 2 plus 3 Fire Fist, or if you run a plus 6 damage Fire Fist, his damage gets up to 18 damage. Terrific card. Love him. Chaos Titan Ilias, Mr. HTN. Then we move to the Aquas cards. I run Aquas, so everybody's favourite faction or not. You either love it or you hate it. Considered the strongest faction in the game. At 3 copies, I run Deep Dive, 1 cost, draw a card, and you may reroll your Bakugan. Draw power is fantastic for this deck. You need to be drawing into your B power cards. You need to be drawing into your Evos. You need to be drawing into your negates at times. And it's a cheap 1 cost reroll, so you can abuse Shun. Yeah, fabulous card for a 1 cost. Then I run 3 Dark Waters, similar to Deep Dive. It's a 1 cost, reroll your Bakugan. This one gives you an extra 200B. It was another option. Turn 1, rolling Hydrus against Hydrus. You can play it and give yourself an extra 200B to hopefully get over your opponent. I did a number of times and it came off a number of times, so very, very handy to get that 6 damage off on turn 1 if you can get away with the plus 200 from Dark Waters. Also, like the other 1 cost cards in this deck, like Deep Dive and Nature's Power, it's a great card to play as an activator for the flow bonus on Wave Slash. And with that, we come to Wave Slash. Possibly my favorite card in the deck, I guess, along with Nature's Power and Chaos Titan Ilias. Terrific card. It came in clutch in a lot of games throughout the tournament. It's a 3 cost, plus 300B, but it's flow. If you played another card this turn, plus 1000B instead. It came in clutch late game in a lot of games. 1000B is a lot of B power for a 3 cost. It's way above curve. And yeah, as I say, it came in clutch in a lot of games. Okay, then we move on to Blinding Ink. 2 cost, negate an action card that costs 3 or less. It's an Aqua staple. Yeah, if you're running Aquas, you're running Blinding Ink. Stop your opponent's plays generally for a 2 cost. Great card. Then we go to Triple Blast Cannon. I ran it 3. It's a 3 cost, negate an action card. This card comes in clutch against big cards like Nature's Wrath, other high cost cards like Dark Rage. This deck needs an answer to wins by damage cards like Dark Rage. I would be looking at replacing this with Sinkhole, but again, I can't get my hands on Sinkhole. Sinkhole is a 4 cost, but also negates a hero. So that can help me negate my nemesis, Mac. When opposition changed the win condition to damage with Mac, this deck has no way of dealing with Mac. So yeah, the deck is desperate to replace this with Sinkhole. Then we come to the hero that I run in the deck. No surprise, Shun Kazami, 3 copies. One of the 2 best heroes in the game, in my opinion. 3 costs. When you open a Bakugan, you may draw a card. I spoke about it before. This deck needs to draw into its Evos. It needs to draw into its B power. Shun Kazami is hands down the best draw engine in the game. Terrific card. Love it. Then we come to the flips. So we'll start off with this one. I played 2 copies of Deep Freeze. It's a 0 cost, stop a fist. I'm finding in the current format there are fists everywhere, and guys are using fists for gear cost reduction. And at 0 cost, it stops their attack. You know, when this set first came out, Resurgent came out, nobody was using fists, and everybody sort of went meh. But now this is actually a really good card. I tend to use a lot of my energy during the game to try and get over my opponents. Sometimes I get caught out. But a lot of times they're carrying a fist for their gear cost reduction, and that's when I was getting caught out mostly. Was by guys using a fist to get a gear cost reduction and play gear cards to get over me. This would stop their damage for 0 cost. Good card. Then I run 2 Deep Freeze, 1 cost, stop a Bakugan holding a shield or a Helix. Shields are getting used a lot also for gear reduction. Helix you see on a number of Bakugan also now in this current format. So also a very good card at a 1 cost to play. Then we move on to the final flip, which is Confuse. I run it 2 copies. It covers the only other 2 cores that I don't have covered in the 2 other flips, and so it stops Fire Fist and a Magic Shield. And yeah, that's the deck. Thanks for watching. I'm only a new channel. I don't have a lot of technology at the moment. I'm hoping to change that in the near future. So the videos are a bit raw, but if you want to like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Bye.